Hello, and welcome one and all to the Brick City Brown Chick YouTube show. I am your host, the aforementioned Chick. For those who ask, Brick City is Newark, New Jersey, my beloved hometown, where I was born and raised. And the Brown Chick, well, hopefully that part is obvious. On this show, we talk everything. We talk politics, we talk race, we talk music, which is my personal favorite, fashion, trends, whatever is on my mind that particular week, that is what we'll be talking about. So whether you found this page on recommendation, or if you're an OG and you've been here for a while, I welcome one and all to my world, the world of the Brick City Brown Chick. Hey, welcome everyone to season 3, hard to believe, of the Brick City Brown Chick podcast. I am your host, the Brick City Brown Chick, and to kick off season 3, we're going to be talking about an important issue that doesn't get talked about very much among people in my age group, the Gen X folks, but I thought it was something important to talk about, especially because this is something I went through just recently. And this episode is called Insights in Friendship. We don't talk about our friends, and I don't mean our Facebook friends or our Instagram friends, but our real, true, real life friends that much. I hear several people my age say things like the older you get, the more you find out who your real friends are, and the less number of people you count as friends. You may have lots of acquaintances, but your true ride or die friends, the number of those people diminish as you get older. And I have found that to be true. I have 4 friends. These are 4 people that I could call day, night, from the Caribbean or from jail or wherever I ended up at a particular moment. And I know they would be there for me and help me do what needs to get done. But 4 people is not a lot in the grand scheme of the world. There are people who like to brag about how many followers they have. But if you ask them to equate that to real life friends, most of the time they just shake their head or look at you perplexed. So recently, I have gone through a couple of situations with 2 of my 4 friends that has really made me take a step back and look at them a little differently. It's not that I don't love them anymore or care about them or anything like that. It's just that I've really had to take a pause. And one of the situations is with my friend I'll just call R. He lives on the other side of the country. He used to live in this area. That's how we met. We met through work more than 12, 13 years ago now. And he recently, well, I guess not so recently, almost a year ago, got married to his second husband. So yes, he is gay. Let's get that right up front. Although that doesn't have too much to do with this story, but a little bit. His first husband died of a very awful disease called non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so this is now his second husband. They have a 13-year age difference, which I just find amazing. My friend is the older person. I can't imagine being married to someone that much younger than I am. But they love each other and they have a good relationship. So about a month ago, my friend out of the clear blue sky said he was coming to this area, to the DC, Maryland area. His husband is in the military, so he is on duty out overseas. And so my friend is kind of going stir crazy and he's frustrated and his new husband isn't home and all that sort of thing. So he came to the DC area to hang out with his friends and to see his mom. Now, what his being gay has to do with this story is that for the most part, with the exception of me and our friend D, who I'll be talking about later, most of his friends are gay men. His bestie came down from Pennsylvania. His two friends who live in this area came to see him, came to dinner, and his mom went to dinner with him. Now, he had sent me a text message asking if I wanted to come to dinner. And I was like, okay, where are you guys at? It was essentially about 2 hours from my workplace. And that's not even counting the traffic, which, if anybody knows the DC, Maryland, Baltimore, Northern Virginia corridor, you know that traffic is a beast. It just is. And they were meeting at, I don't know, 5:30, 6 o'clock on a weeknight. So traffic was going to be even worse. So I said, look, you guys have a good time. I'm not going to be able to get there. Hope you have fun. So he was here 3.5 days, I guess, before he had to hop on the plane and go back to California. But in that time, I did not see him at all because he was sort of go, 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 this place, that place, the other place. And I'm going to be real about it. I had certain feelings about that because he and I have been through a lot. And I have supported him through a whole bunch of things as he supported me. And I felt very much like I was not the priority. Not that I had to be, but I felt like I was not the priority. And also that it was more important for him to hang out with his tribe. And in this case, what I mean by tribe is his gay friends. And I do understand that. I do understand that they are super supportive of each other, that they go through things and understand things that I, as a straight woman, do not and cannot. But I also felt like what he was saying in that moment, not actually saying, but the message that was given off was that my friendship and my support and seeing me was not as important to him as spending time with his tribe. And I get it, but there is also a part of me that is super upset and that doesn't get it. And one thing you have to understand about me is I am an extremely sensitive person. When I was younger, that used to bother me. People would say, stop being so sensitive, and it would piss me off, to be perfectly honest. But I am at an age and a stage in my life where I own who I am. And I am really clear that I am very sensitive and that I will take situations into a direction that most people don't and wouldn't. So what's been the result of that? The result of that has been I have not reached out to talk to him since he went back to California. He sent our friend D and myself a text message a couple of days ago talking about something totally different. And I responded, but I'm still in my feelings, as the expression goes, about what happened. How long is it going to take me to get past being in my feelings? I don't really know. In addition to being super sensitive, I can hold a grudge with the best of them. People always say that you shouldn't hold grudges, that things aren't that important, that you should let stuff go. I do not let things go. I really don't. And that's, sometimes to my detriment, but sometimes that instinct is what protects me from getting more hurt. So that's what I would say about that. I own it. I'm very clear about it. And sometimes when I react in am holding a grudge way, I have to take a step back and talk to myself and say, is this the hill you want to die on, right? Is this really what you want to be mad about for a couple of months or 6 months or whatever? Is this the thing I'm going to be long-term mad about at my friend over? No, probably not. I'll say probably not. Does it make me feel a certain kind of way? Yeah, it makes me feel a certain kind of way. Does it make me question our friendship? I don't question the friendship. I question the loyalty and the ability to be there for me. So that's kind of where that situation is. The other situation I went through recently is with our aforementioned friend D. Now, what you have to understand about D is I'm a straight no chaser girl. D is a straight no chaser girl with no filter. She's gonna say exactly how she feels, exactly how she thinks. F your feelings, to be perfectly honest about it. D is the kind of person, if you're not ready for her, she's gonna hurt your feelings because she's gonna say something that you're not gonna like and not gonna appreciate. I have seen her interact with friends of hers that she's known much longer than me. We've probably known each other about a decade, a little less time than R and I have known each other. But we've known each other for a minute, and she's had friends of 20 years and 30 years, people she goes back to high school with. And I've seen her interact with those folks, and I've seen her kind of go at them. And so I do know she's capable of that, but she's never done that with me until now. I confided in her about a situation that I've literally not talked to anyone else about. But it was something I needed to share and get off my chest. And I thought, because we had been friends for a while, that she was the right person to do that with. It turns out she was absolutely not the right person to do that with. She got super agitated, super frustrated, started lecturing me like I was a child, and that sent me into the stratosphere. Now, why is that? Because my mother, God love her, who will be 91 in about a week, we'll be going to see her, used to do that to me as a child. Now, what do Dee and my mother have in common? They're both Virgos. And for people who aren't into astrology, this won't make any sense to you. But Dee is one of those super, like, I'm a Virgo and this is how Virgos are and blah, 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 blah. That's a big thing for her. So in that way, she reminds me very much of my mother. And when I was a child, I had visceral reactions to my mother lecturing me about whatever thing she was upset about, whatever thing I did wrong. And I never had the reaction with her because, yeah, I would have ended up on the floor. I probably wouldn't be here right now. You don't do that to Black mothers. But, you know, when I would go to my room or go wherever in the house, I would be stomping around and mad and really upset that she'd taken my head off for something I thought was inconsequential. In Dee's case, this was very consequential, what I shared with her, and her reaction was just so, you know better than that. You shouldn't do that. What's wrong with you? It just sent me back to childhood in a way that I would not wish on anyone. So I ended up super angry, told her I was not going to talk about this with her anymore, that this had been a bad idea, and that I was just going to let it go. That was over a week ago. Have I talked to her since then? No. Am I still upset about it? Yeah. I'm a 55-year-old woman. I don't need a lecture. I have a mother. She does enough of that for me. I really don't need somebody who is my friend to treat me like I'm an 8-year-old kid. That's not okay. Do I think that's going to be a long-term situation? I doubt it. Just like the R situation, I don't think I'm going to hold on to it for a long period of time. But again, it really did make me take a step back and go, oh, maybe this relationship is not as solid as I thought, or maybe this person is not open-minded enough to really hear what I have to say. And both these situations are the types of things that make you set boundaries, right? They make you more protective of yourself. In the astrology realm, like I said, D is a Virgo. I am a Cancer. And what Cancers are known for, we're the crab sign, is pinchers, like crabs have. And what that means in our case is if you hurt us, if you come at us, we're doing this really quickly. We are going to react and be like, oh, okay, this is how you want to come at me? Now I'm getting in defense mode. And you won't like me in defense mode because I can be mean and nasty. And that is also something I know about myself. If somebody comes at me wrong, I can be really mean really quick. And that's a trigger. I know it is. So that's something else that I, as a grown woman, have had to take a step back and go, don't immediately react to things. Don't do it because you're liable to say things that's really not going to help the situation. So I've really had to pull myself back and not follow my instinct and not just create a word salad that's going to be brutal and hurtful. But what I have found over the course of my life is a lot of people don't have that capability. They don't have the ability to be self-aware. Self-awareness has saved my life and my sanity more times than I can talk about. And that is something I learned from years of therapy. You have to know who you are and what pushes your buttons so you don't allow your buttons to be pushed. And it really has kept me being self-aware and being like, oh, that's a trigger. That's going to bother you. Don't do it. Don't let it happen. That has saved me from so many instances and situations with people. Now, there are likely some people who know me who are like chuckling at this moment because they're like, you really think that you don't react to things? And I will react in the moment, but it is not a tenth of how I could react if I really wanted to. And that's the part that a lot of people don't get. It's like, you're not understanding. I could be much meaner and much nastier and much more visceral, but I'm aware enough to be able to pull that back. So as we get older, as we Gen X people are rapidly heading towards 60, which is pretty scary, we have to be aware of our programming and our buttons and our triggers. And I can hear people sighing right now and rolling their eyes and going, oh God, it's the therapy speak. But it's all true. Everybody has them. Anybody who tells you that they don't have triggers are lying, or they just don't know what their triggers are. You could probably tell them because you interacted with them enough to know, but they're going to tell you they don't have any and they don't believe in it, and that's just psychobabble and nonsense. It's not. It's a real thing, and you've got to be aware enough to know what bothers you. I am aware enough to know what bothers me, and I am also aware enough to know that what bothers me isn't going to bother everybody, and that the people who have hurt my feelings, for the most part, don't mean to hurt my feelings, especially if they're my friends. They don't mean to do that. They just have because of my buttons and my triggers. So what I want to tell people this week is to be aware and be conscious of your buttons and what bothers you, and decide how long you're going to be upset about it, if you're going to talk to the person that upset you, or if you're just going to deal with it. Now, caution here. If you decide not to talk to the people who upset you, you can't be endlessly mad at them. Or if you want to be endlessly mad, you should probably not communicate with them. You have to decide you're going to get over it in a certain period of time and not keep bringing it up. But the other side to that is just because you don't bring it up doesn't mean it's not in your brain. Doesn't mean that next time they do something similar, your brain isn't going to flash back to, oh, yeah, I remember how we got here. So just be conscious and aware of the things that bother you and make an effort to change the things that bother you, to change your programming and your triggers, or to accept them and say, okay, I know this about myself, therefore I'm not going to let myself take it all the way there. I may just take it here. So I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. Again, this is the first episode of season 3. I'm super excited. I did not change my studio, but I did change my camera, and you get a little more expansive view of the Brick City Brown Chick world. So please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you again next week. Take care.